One became a legend, her name etched in every textbook. The other was almost forgotten, buried beneath the pages of history. Both fought the same battle, to save lives when war and disease claimed them by the thousands. This is the story of Florence Nightingale and Mary Seacole, two women who rewrote medicine, one with numbers and discipline, the other with compassion and courage. Together, they changed how the world understood care forever. Florence Nightingale was born in 1820 into privilege and comfort. Her family moved through high society, expecting her to marry well and live quietly. But Florence wanted something else: purpose. Against her parents' wishes, she studied nursing, a profession considered unsuitable for a woman of her class. She learned statistics, sanitation, and systems, believing data could heal as much as medicine. Across the ocean, another young woman was growing up with the same calling. Mary Seacole was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1805, the daughter of a Scottish soldier and a free black woman. Her mother ran a boarding house that also served as a place of healing. There, Mary learned traditional Caribbean medicine, using herbs, tinctures, and intuition. From early on, she treated wounds, fevers, and infections with calm, steady hands. But in the British Empire of the 19th century, race and gender created invisible walls. Mary could learn, heal, and lead, but she could not belong. Her determination, though, was stronger than any barrier. In 1853, Britain went to war with Russia, the Crimean War. It was one of the first wars to be covered by journalists, and the reports were horrifying. British soldiers were dying, not just from bullets, but from disease, infection, and neglect. Florence Nightingale was chosen to lead a team of nurses to the military hospitals in Scutari. When she arrived, she found chaos: filth, overcrowding, contaminated water, and no proper drainage. The wounded lay on floors soaked with blood and sewage. Florence imposed order. She cleaned wards, improved sanitation, and demanded statistics. Her reforms cut the death rate dramatically. She became known as the Lady with the Lamp, walking the wards at night, checking on the sick and dying. To the soldiers, her lamp was hope. To the newspapers, she became a symbol of heroism and virtue. Yet far closer to the battlefield, another woman was changing lives in her own way. Mary Seacole read those same reports and felt compelled to act. She applied to the War Office to join Nightingale's nurses. Her application was rejected, likely because of her race. But Mary didn't take no for an answer. She funded her own journey, bought her own supplies, and set sail for the Crimea. When Mary arrived in Balaclava, she found soldiers hungry, sick, and desperate. She built the British Hotel from scrap wood and metal, part shop, part clinic, part refuge. By day, she sold food and supplies to soldiers and officers. By night, she treated the wounded and the feverish with her herbal remedies. Her tent became a sanctuary, a place where color and class meant nothing. She went to the front lines under fire, carrying bandages, herbs, and courage. Soldiers called her Mother Seacole. They said she never refused help, even to the dying. Her remedies, mixtures of mustard, camphor, and lime juice, eased pain and restored strength. Mary didn't need statistics. She had compassion, instinct, and experience. While Florence worked within systems, Mary built her own. Both women saved countless lives, one through order and one through touch. Florence Nightingale and Mary Seacole never worked together, although their names will be forever linked. Florence was distant, formal, and methodical. Mary was warm, fearless, and personal. Florence fought the system. Mary worked around it. Florence's nurses reported to generals. Mary answered to no one but her patients. In the hospitals of Scutari, Florence's reforms changed military medicine forever. In the fields of Balaclava, Mary's courage gave soldiers their will to survive. Both women were pioneers, but history only crowned one. When the war ended, Florence returned home to royal recognition. The Queen praised her. The newspapers called her an angel. The nation gave her medals, money, and fame. Mary returned to Britain too, but penniless. Her savings gone, her hotel left behind, and her contributions nearly forgotten. The public had moved on. The government ignored her petitions for support. Victorian society was not built to celebrate women like her. But those who fought beside her did remember. The soldiers who had survived her care raised money for her, holding public events to pay her debts. They called her the bravest woman in the war. She published her memoirs, The Wonderful Adventures of Mrs. Seacole in Many Lands, in 1857. It became a bestseller, one of the first autobiographies by a black woman in British history. But over time, her name faded again. Florence's fame only grew. She founded the Nightingale Training School for Nurses in London. Her data-driven approach shaped modern healthcare. Her charts, the famous polar diagrams, proved sanitation could save more lives than surgery. Governments listened, hospitals changed. Nursing became a respected profession. Florence Nightingale transformed medicine at the system's core. But history forgot that Mary Seacole had done the same, from the margins. For more than a century, her story was left out of the textbooks, until the late 20th century, when historians and campaigners began to ask, who was Mary Seacole? They found letters, diaries, and first-hand accounts from soldiers. They found evidence of her bravery and skill. And they found a truth Britain had overlooked for generations. That healing has many forms, and not all of them wear a lamp. Today, Florence Nightingale is rightly remembered as the founder of modern nursing. Her insistence on cleanliness, data, and design saved millions of lives long after she died. Her reforms laid the foundation for hospitals, public health policy, and patient care. Her legacy is carved in stone and in the very layout of hospitals around the world. Mary Seacole's legacy took longer to rebuild, but now statues of her stand proudly in London and Kingston. Her name is taught in schools, her courage recognized as the heart of humanity under fire. In many ways, she represented what medicine often forgets: empathy. Florence built systems that lasted centuries. Mary healed hearts that were breaking. One worked from the top down, the other worked from the ground up. Together, they formed the two halves of modern care: science and soul. Florence Nightingale's lamp still burns in the symbol of every nurse's oath. Mary Seacole's spirit still walks the wards wherever compassion is shown. They lived in a world that doubted them, and together they proved it wrong. They faced disease, death, and prejudice with unshakable will. They redefined what it meant to serve others. Florence Nightingale's pen reshaped hospitals, whilst Mary Seacole's hands saved soldiers one by one. History only crowned one, but it was built on both, because reform and resilience are two sides of the same story. Florence Nightingale taught the world how to heal with science. Mary Seacole taught it how to heal with heart. Today their names stand side by side, not as rivals but as equals, and the world they changed is still being healed by their legacy. Their courage echoes in every nurse's footsteps. Their compassion lives on in every patient's recovery. Two women, one goal: to heal, to care, and to bring light into the darkest places. Florence Nightingale and Mary Seacole are the two pioneering women who rewrote medicine.
Thanks for watching. This is 60-second knowledge now extended, because curiosity doesn't stop at 60 seconds. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok.